vaccine came out.
Oh wow.
Some of them had a lot of underlying conditions or were not vaccinated,
Okay.
or both, and they didn't have a good, easy time with it at all.
Yeah, it's a sad time.
But,
They got a monkeypox going around now.
yeah, there's always going to be something going on.
Well, like saying it's the cases are kind of increasing now.
Got a monkeypox going around now. Yeah, that's right. There's always going to be something.
Is that a repeat?
Hello, people.
Yeah,
right, we're ready to go now. Right, we're live now. Hello, people.
All right.
Welcome to Main Event Boxing Talk. I've got Spencer with me here and Tom. Hello, guys.
Hey, everybody here.
What's going on?
Hey.
Hello, people of YouTube.
Right. Let's hear that big, overwhelming applause. Yeah.
Applause.
Yay.
Right, let's get down to business. Right, the first thing we're going to talk about is this was such a terrible card. Zoloni Tete destroys Jason Cunningham to win the Commonwealth title.
Yep. You see it?
Yeah. Anybody watch this?
Yeah.
It's nonsense.
I saw that.
Go, Spencer.
What?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
I mean, Tete looked like he's trying to get back into title contention. So.
He's
good, he looks like he can be.
What's with these shit opponents?
Tete was the underdog, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
No, not at all. Yeah, I don't know why people said that, because we're talking about a guy, even though he's knocked people out in 11s. How can a British level guy be good enough to beat Tete? It's not going to happen, is it? Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
you never know.
Crazy.
But he wasn't regarded well after he lost that fight. So, but I'm glad he's back on the scene. He looked really good. That was a straight, perfect left hand.
Yes, it was.
Wasn't it?
Yes,
beautiful.
It was.
Beautiful. Right down, straight as it comes.
Oh, wow. So Tete is back in it. Who can he get a title shot next? I think that was like some international title or some European title, I think.
I think so.
It was the Commonwealth title and a couple of WBA, IBF regional titles. The usual.
Okay. So he'll get a ranking. His ranking is going to go up, or rather, who knows?
In the top 10.
If the champ calls on him.
If he keeps winning, I mean, he's got what? He's like 12-1 or 13-1. He doesn't have a big record yet, right?
Let me see. I don't know.
I don't think his record is that big. So if he just keeps winning,
Tete.
Yeah, right.
He's won 2 world titles at 2 different weights, and he does have some pedigree.
What's his record though? I don't. If I remember,
it was like 24-3 or something.
Okay, I'm thinking of somebody else though. Well, why not? Just don't lose, and you'll get another title shot at something.
Yeah.
But as we know, at these lower weights, you could lose, go on a bad run, go up a weight, go down a weight, and win a vacant world title. Because a lot of these belts at the lower weights are.
Now, when is he? Is he 122 or 126?
I think he's 126. He's not in Fulton. I don't think he's in Fulton's weight division. Fulton is 122, right?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he's 126. But he and Fulton would be a good match too.
Yeah, he might need somebody because the other guy's fighting. The other champ is fighting.
Yeah, he's fighting this weekend, right? Masayo?
Is he fighting this weekend? Is he fighting Ronnie Rios, right? That's who he's fighting, right?
Yeah.
Ray, isn't it Ray? The tall guy. I don't know. I got it mixed up. But I think he's 120.
Super bantamweight. This was super bantamweight.
So he is in Fulton's weight class.
Oh, 122. Okay, yeah, there you go. Well, I think he would make a good contender, for him and for anybody else who's up there who's willing to get in the ring with him. It'll be fine.
Yeah, he could definitely be. If those guys don't fight for undisputed next, he could definitely. Who know? Who knows? What's it called? Might Anui might fight him on his way up.
That's another one right there.
This is Tete's third weight. He lost his title at bantamweight, so this is his third weight, I believe.
Okay, well, that'll be a good match. I'd like to see that match. That would be one. That would be a good one to watch. So I'm down for that.
And the main event of this card was absolute waste of time. The ultra slow Joyce fighting the faded, washed Christian Hammer.
I don't know if it was a waste of time. It showed, Joe was rusty. He was eating overhand rights for a while. If he does that, if he matches with Wilder, which they were talking about, Wilder will put him to sleep. Either that or break his hand on his head.
The way they're matching Joe Joyce is they're not going to let him anywhere near these dangerous people. They're just going to keep feeding in these people who are just outside the top 20 like they've been doing for the last 4 years.
Listen.
His career, his wins are good, but he's not a top 5 fighter. In my opinion, he's not a top 10 fighter. He's only barely in the top 10.
Well,
considering the landscape, I call him a top 10.
Yeah.
Only because there's nobody really decent about outside the top.
That's what will make him a top 10. It's like, like considering all the other contenders out there, he's a lot better. I'll place him above White, although White got more people on his record.
I'd say so. And above Dubar as well.
Yeah, definitely above Dubar because he beat him.
I gotta say this though, because I was watching him, he has improved. He was throwing some really nice combinations and some uppercuts, and they were nice. The form was good, the punches were strong. The only thing is just he takes too many headshots, and that's where he's going to prove
he gets
vulnerable.
Clipped a lot. He gets clipped a lot, and it was there all night. It's not even like Hammer got in and then he couldn't get in no more. Hammer was able to get in for like the first 2 rounds at ease on that right overhand right.
Right, but then the body work caught up to him.
I was going to say that's another thing Joyce does that was kind of good, that he was going to the body a lot.
Yep, he did the right thing. Yeah. What were you going to say?
For me, it's now or never. The guy's 36. He's not like he's been pro 4 years. He's been kind of fast-tracked in that 3 years. He's been pro, to this level. But really, he's due a title shot anytime soon, Even I think he should fight Dubar next, seriously. Because for me, that's the only way he's going to win a world title, unless the WBO belt gets vacated and he fights a guy just outside the top 10. Only way he wins a world title for me. He's not beating the top guys.
Well, all power to him. He's there. He's winning. And he could take a punch, and he's getting better. So he better get a title shot in the next 2 years.
Frank Warren,
he got to get it.
Shady.
He got to get it. He got to get a title shot in like the next 2 fights.
Oh yeah, otherwise it's over.
Well,
there's no excuse on why he shouldn't get. As you said, he's top ranked. He's highly ranked in the WBO. He's number 2 in the WBC. He's probably number 2 in the WBA.
Top 10, yeah.
I'm not sure about him in the IBF, but I know for sure WBA, WBC, and the WBO, he's highly ranked. So there should be no reason why. And he's undefeated. So there should be no reason why.
Do you think that they'll match him with the winner of Pulev and Chisora next?
Yeah, that would make more sense. That would make the most sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It's possible, but he could fight Piccoli.
No, too dangerous. Too dangerous.
He could beat Piccoli.
The dark horse here
do.
The dark horse here is Hrgovic. That's the guy everybody's avoiding. So we'll see what happens.
It's so ironic that the time that he had the fight that he was supposed to get for Eliminator, he's the one that couldn't fight.
Well, his father died, right? Yeah.
I thought it was an injury too, but okay, it was just his father passed away.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, and he had an injury as well.
I don't know about that. Yeah, I vaguely remember that, but that was the main reason I thought.
No, I'm not saying it's anything fishy. I was just saying it's just kind of like he was asking for somebody to fight, and then once he got a contender, he wasn't the one able to fight.
Exactly, I agree with you.
Look, Joyce, don't get me wrong.
Nathan?
You what?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Right. Even though he's building a list of good contenders, the time is running out. He's probably got 2 years left, and then it's all downhill from there for me, No.
Well, he's a big man. He's a strong man. He's not a guy that everybody wants to risk against, especially when he fractured Dubois' eye. So we'll see.
Too bad Yoka lost.
Yeah, and he may lose
because that would have been a good fight for him to have now.
That would have been.
But I mean, that fight's dead in the water now, and that fight's doesn't make any sense now.
I mean, what's it called? Fight. Frank Warren had threw his name out there. He was like White, Wilder, or Yoka. So I'm like, it's probably going to be Yoka if it's out of those three.
Yeah.
Because at least White and Yoka both. Well, all three of them just lost, and they all got stopped. So, it's no like Wilder probably lost to the better. Well, Wilder and White lost to the same guy. But Wilder's last fight with Fury was one of those But
Pulev, or someone like if Pulev or Chisora, obviously Pulev would be the best opponent because he brings the most name and recognition, but he's also the most dangerous fight out there. Before you fight for world title,
Pulev.
Yeah.
You think he's more dangerous than Hrgović?
No.
Well, I was thinking he was talking about between Pulev and Chisora.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got you. All right. What do you want to move to?
Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields has been confirmed.
Did you see the press conference? Any of you guys? I saw it.
I watched a bit of it, and it was uncomfortable to watch, to be honest.
Yeah,
it was. But these two don't like each other. So, what I this, and you may not remember this, Nathan. But when I was watching, I've been watching a few of Savannah Marshall's fights, and I was thinking, who is she moving like? And then I realized she moves like Greg Page. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I'm saying, wait a minute, this shuffle, the way she moves her head, the way she moves her arms and upper body. I just watched the documentary of Greg Page, and I'm going, she moves just like Greg Page. Savannah Marshall.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Like her height and her reach is going to be the biggest obstacle that Clarissa is going to have to overcome.
She also has power, but she's slower. She's
Let's be honest. Yeah, carry on.
Oh, go ahead. I said what I said.
Yeah. Clarissa is a very good fighter, and we know she's elite, but she's underestimating Savannah Marshall. You can tell she is, to her detriment. I still believe Clarissa Shields will win.
I'm just curious. Why do you think she's underestimating her?
Yeah,
you can tell. You can tell.
What are you seeing that's saying that she's underestimating her?
The body language says it all. Clarissa Shields is doing all the talking.
I'm trying to like, because she's confident that she could beat her. Is that her underestimating her?
Just, you know what? I'm going to say this, whether it's politically correct or not. Americans, this is typical American behavior, isn't it, of fighters. We've seen it all. Because she's that good. She knows. So when you're that good, you can be that arrogant. It's the way she is. That Roy Jones kind of thing.
Arrogant. Y'all think we're arrogant. Yo, it's so funny that it's so funny to hear British people think Americans are arrogant with your pomp.
With the boxers, the top elite boxers.
Billy Joe Saunders is not arrogant. Oh my God. Tyson Fury is not arrogant. Give me a break, man. Clarissa's acting the way she always acts. That's the way.
Right. Listen, if you. Okay, and this is just
she comes from Detroit. She comes from
Clint,
Detroit.
but throwing everything aside, if you're going up against somebody, you're a two-time Olympic champion. You got all of these awards. You two-time undisputed three-weight champion. This girl has one belt, and people are viewing them on the same level. That would be a disrespect to Clarissa Shields. Like, for people to even put them on the same plane is a disrespect going in.
Yeah,
in my opinion, you wouldn't like when Floyd Mayweather was fighting Victor Ortiz. You wasn't saying Ortiz is on the same plane as Floyd Mayweather. That would be a disrespect to Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, but like she's like the Floyd of women's boxing, right? But she's never fought anyone as big as her in the professional. She's never fought anyone with that kind of power. You know, if she's not careful, she could walk onto some, but she has the skill to outbox Savannah Marshall and win it quite comprehensively.
Well, I think that's what's going to happen. Don't forget, a lot of this, some of this is hype too, hyping the fight, you know?
Yeah.
But it's not arrogance. It's, you know, you got to draw the line between confidence and fact.
I could see, because this fight's in England, I think this fight will go to points. I think it's going to be really, really weak. I think we're going to see a fight we're not going to expect. I think we're going to see a great fight. And it's going to be, for probably half the fight will be even. Then after that, Savannah will take over.
And I'm going to just say this. Savannah Marshall is trying to talk about Clarissa Shields not being a ticket seller or whatever. Clarissa Shields sold out a couple of places here. They're not big Madison Square Gardens or Wembley's or anything like that. But where she went, she sold out the Boardwalk Hall, which holds about 10,000 in Atlantic City, and some other place she had sold out. But for Savannah to say the only reason why it's in the UK is because it wouldn't sell in the US. It probably wouldn't sell in the US as much because no one knows Savannah Marshall here like they know Clarissa Shields over there.
That's right. Plus that card is world champions on that card.
And Savannah can't even come to the States anyway, so.
There we go. What is that? Because of the Kinahan thing.
All of that stuff. Josh Taylor had to drop his belts because of the Kinahan thing.
Yep.
Really? Wow.
That's why he didn't fight Zepeda. He couldn't come here because they was going to have it here. He couldn't come here. And they not, you know, he don't sell in England unless he's fighting Jack rematch.
Yeah,
that's right. Cattrall. He's got to fight Cattrall.
There's a list of 500 people on that.
Hey, how arrogant are you today, Spencer?
It's like, yo, it's just funny because I heard that and I'm like, it's funny to hear British people calling Americans arrogant when they look a lot of them look down on us as they calling us arrogant. Like, that's weird. Like, you looking down on us, calling us arrogant as if we look down on you. Like, that's weird.
We all know the struggle that Clarissa Shields has had in her life. We know the story. It's a good story. And she comes from Detroit. And we know the reputation of Detroit fighters, right?
Well,
they produce some fucking good fighters over there. You know,
well, Detroit is always, you're going way back. Detroit has always produced great fighters. It's a tough city, you know, just like Philly and just like New York. I mean, you have
Philly,
what's his name out of Detroit? What's his name?
What's his name lived there for a bit? Joe Louis lived in Detroit for a bit, didn't he?
Did he live in Detroit?
Wasn't he from? Where was he from exactly? Chicago.
I thought he was from Alabama.
Yeah, but he trained.
I think he spent some time in Detroit.
Yeah, but you know, you had the middleweight champion there for a while, who was very good, who Rocky Graciano beat, and then he won the title back, and then he lost it to Sugar Ray Robinson. Tony Zale, he was a tough guy out of there. There've been a lot.
Okay, we'll move on to our next thing. Our next thing is Cesar Francis will be fighting the ragtag Ramendo Beltran. What do you guys know about Cesar Francis? Because I know nothing about him.
I've seen him fight. He's good. Ray is the perennial, you know, ex-champ, tough guy. He held the title for, I think, 1 or 2 defenses. I believe. He's very tough. But Francis is also pretty sharp, so it should be a good fight.
I thought Beltran would be long gone by now.
Nah. You know, it's
yeah,
like
I mean, I thought he would too. But
after he won the world title.
But I guess they gave him a few dollars to fight this guy.
Yeah.
And if he wins, I could see them trying to set him up as Lomachenko's comeback fight.
Right. I don't like to see fight. You know, for me, Beltran should have retired when he lost the belt. For me, you know, well over his sell by that.
Well, you know, it's easy to say that to a fighter, but look, you know, you have Rigondeaux, who's 80% blind now, says he's going to come back. I mean, these guys, some of them don't know how else to make.
Oh yeah, he's too old as well.
You know, they don't know what else to do with
they spend their whole life in the gym.
That's right, since they're kids. So they come there 38, you know, and it's like, what am I going to do now? You know, practice law. I mean, what are they going to do? If they don't get
some of these guys' investments aren't always the greatest.
No, or there aren't any.
Know when to walk away. This is what a lot of boxers struggle with.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's hard to just, like, again, as we said, if that's the only thing you know how to do, it's hard to go from that to like driving a bus.
It's
you might not want to do that.
Any professional athlete goes through this. You know, they all do. What else can I do? You know, what am I going to do?
Yeah, and especially in boxing, where like I said, it's not always. There's a lot of boxers that aren't leaving the sport financially set.
A lot of them are not.
You know, let's face it, most guys don't get up to top 10 contention. And that's when they start to make some serious money, you know, when they're there. And they have to chop up that pie so many different ways. It's not a great financial situation where you could walk away with lots of money. I mean, not everybody can do what Floyd did.
No.
Not everybody could do what AJ did or Tyson Fury. Even Tyson Fury never made big bucks until that trilogy.
For a while,
right?
though.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that trilogy made them money. So.
Yeah, not everybody could do like a De La Hoya either, where they could carry their boxing beyond their boxing career and still generate money.
Be promoters, you know.
Right.
Boxing
successful promoters.
Yeah, exactly.
Boxing is one of the most unforgiving sports in the world.
Well, football was pretty bad too. Football was pretty bad too. You know, you can get hurt at any time and you're done.
I mean, basketball, you could make 20 million in one season, right?
It depends, you know.
Well, a lot of these sports have to be thankful that they got unions like football and baseball and basketball, where they can guarantee that even if they get injured, they still get paid certain money or whatever the case is. Whereas before, these guys would play hurt because they had to play hurt, because they would get cut from the team if they didn't play.
Yeah.
That's right. Boxing doesn't have that, period.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on to the next thing. Mark Magsayo will be fighting Ray Vargas. This is for the WBC.
A good one.
Yeah, I want to see this one. This is going to be good.
That's going to be the good fight to watch this weekend. I mean,
Magsayo, he beat Russell, but Russell had like a hurt arm or something, so he wasn't 100% in the fight. I want to really see what he's going to do against Vargas.
Vargas is so tall, you know, and so rangy. I've seen him. Didn't he get like knocked down in his last fight? Had a real tough fight, and he came back and won. Was that the fight before this? Yeah. So he's going to have to be punching up, which means he's going to lose some power punching up. So we'll see what happens with this. But Magsayo really is a good body puncher, and he's a volume puncher. He's strong. So this is a good match. This is going to be one to watch.
If he gets inside and he could get to his body, then he might not need to necessarily worry about punching up so much.
Exactly. But also the fact, but Ray is a good fighter too. He's got a very stiff jab, and he's tall, and he's long, and he has.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I mean. So he's gonna Mark's going to have to get inside in order to be effective, because if he tries to, he can't. He probably won't win if it's a distance fight.
No, that's the strategy. You're right. That's exactly what the strategy should be, is to keep it on the outside, and throw punches from a distance and keep them at bay and keep them off balance. But that's easier said than done if a guy's like a Dwight Braxton. Remember the way he fought?
He keep moving inside, and he's going to be relentless, and he's not giving up. Then,
because
you might tire out before he stops coming in. So
right, he's got to get him to shorten his punches. That's what he's got to get him to do. Take away that reach, that long reach, throwing at long range, and that's his formula to win.
It's going to be good. I hope for a good fight.
He is unusually large for a man in that weight division. It's just really large.
I'm hoping the winner fights Leo. If Leo comes back.
Well, that will remain to be seen.
Is Leo coming back at 126 anyway, or is he going to go to 130?
He's dropping down. He fought Tank at what, 135?
I thought that was 130.
130. Yeah, I think he's going back down to 126. That's the last I read, but that was months ago. So I don't know. It's a good question.
Okay. We'll talk about one more fight on this card, and then we'll move on. Brandon Figueroa will be fighting Carlos Castro.
Oh, good. I'm always up for watching Brandon. He's always it's always entertaining.
Is he moved? Did he move up, or is he still at 122?
I think he's moved up. Let me double check.
So this is not Omar. This is Brandon, right?
Right. Yeah. This is the one that lost to Fulton.
Yeah. That was a great fight, man.
That was a fight of the year, if you ask me.
Yeah. Well, I would agree with you. That was a great fight. So if he's in the same weight or moving up, either way, it's going to be great.
Because remember, he was saying that after that fight, he wanted to move
banter.
up.
It's still super banter.
Oh, okay. So he's still at 122. Maybe he's trying to get a rematch. So he's going to stay around.
I would watch it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
that was a close fight. Brandon thought he won, which, one or two people can argue that he did.
It was competitive and it was close, but Fulton did win.
Yeah, I think so too.
I give it to Fulton. And I'd like to see Fulton not take as much punches, though. He can mix it up, but I'd like him not to take as many headshots as he has in his last two fights.
Well, no, his last fight, he didn't take any shots. He just kept homeboy. Remember, he fought Daniel Roman, and he didn't even get touched in that fight.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Wait a minute. I'm talking about the two before that one.
Yeah, it was the Figueroa and the Leo fight those was like brawlers. Lawn burners.
Well, he made an adjustment he needed to make, because you don't have a long career in the lightweight division like that, in the lighter weights, when you're taking punches like that all the time.
Exactly. It's a good. Anyway, I'm a believe Figueroa should win this. What's his opponent's record?
I don't know. I don't have it in front of me.
Let me have a look. His record is 27-1. 27-1.
Oh, it'll be competitive.
It should look good on paper.
Yeah, whenever either brother is in a fight, it's going to be a lot of action going on. They fight,
Yeah, his brother fighting homeboy, AB.
Oh yeah, that's going to be fun. My favorite fighter's back, Adrian Broner.
Yep.
Yeah, I need to. We got another card to go on to before we talk about.
Yeah, I should have did that as the segue to the AB thing.
Right.
My bad.
We'll do it after this.
It's okay.
Fabio Wardley will be fighting Kingsley Iber, whose guy is 7-2-1. Fabio Wardley should win that quite comfortably. Then we've got Felix Cash against Vaughan Alexander. That's a fight he should win. That's for the WBA International Middleweight title. And then we've got Michael Sorrow against Israel married Marov.
Madridov. He should win that.
Uzbekistan.
Yeah, he should win that.
Olympic.
Yep, he should definitely win that one.
Mm-hmm.
Big time.
And then we got the final, which for me is a fight where it doesn't really need to happen again. Is Chisora against Pulev?
Well, Derek Chisora has more lives than a cat, and even though he's been losing, generally he hasn't lost like super badly. He's been competitive, so he keeps getting thrown in. But I think Pulev should take this fight.
Yeah,
Pulev should win. And it's funny. Did y'all hear the press conference?
Part of it, yeah.
Where
he Pulev was like, "I beat you already. What are you talking about?" He was like, "But you got older." He's like, "What did you get?" He was like, "Yo, Chisora was sounding to me. He was hilarious, but to me, it's just like, okay." Tell him you got older though.
Oh my
I'm
God.
better.
I'm so bored of Derek Chisora. His nonsense. I hope we see the last of him. I really hope he doesn't main event another card again.
Well, Eddie Hearn and David Haye already said, don't think about that because this ain't his last fight.
What he's done, but he needs to walk away. If he loses, he can't continue anymore for me. If he does, then it needs to be at the kind of level like the Dave Allen sort of level, the British kind of level,
Well, don't count on it. He's a perennial contender.
Well, he's a good fighter, but he's
gonna fight Joe Joyce like y'all said if he wins.
There it is.
If you lose 3 fights in a row against top opposition, then you need to have a couple of easy fights. If he
wins, he's gonna fight Joe Joyce. If he loses, he's gonna fight Daniel Dubois.
That sounds good.
And then he'll get beaten up again.
Well,
do you really think they're going to give Daniel Dubois that as a first defence? That's a dangerous first defence. But it's also a fight he would win.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what Pulev does because Pulev cracks him early.
Pulev has some power.
I'm going to put this on the line, and I'm going to get Pulev to win by a 9th round stoppage because I don't think Chisora has anything left. Or it's not going to be like the first fight where it was close. Basically, all Pulev has to do in this fight is let Chisora run at him and just jab him, walk away from him. And soon when Chisora comes back, he'll take a step backwards or a step forward or a step backwards and he'll just jab him. Chisora's going to be eating jabs on him. That's all Pulev has to do is move out the way, throw a jab, move away, throw a jab.
Yeah, and then if he try to come in, just, hold, like make sure he don't be able to get off early, close up.
If Pulev wants to go to war with Chisora, he'll get knocked out. He can't do that. He has to just keep it on the outside and box for 12 rounds, and he can do that.
I want to see what happens if Chisora lands one of those overhand rights. I want to see Pulev's legs and see what happens.
Pulev may go down once or twice in this fight, but I still believe he'll win.
Did he get hit cleanly against Forrest in his last fight out?
He what?
Did he get hit cleanly at all against Forrest?
Yes, I think he did.
Only a couple of times, not many times.
I don't think they have the same amount of power, though.
No, I don't think so either. I was just wondering whether or not he was getting hit a lot. I can't recall the fight. The fight is drawing right now.
I saw the fight. No. Basically, Pulev was just doing what he normally does, wave his arm around, throw a couple of jabs, and that was it. That was the whole fight. Forrest eating jabs.
That's why it probably ain't standing out to me.
But Pulev doesn't need to do too much to win this for me. All he has to do is stay out the way, box him, and that's it, and not get involved in the war. If he goes toe-to-toe with Chisora, he will lose. He'll get knocked out. So he's not that dumb. And I think he's just got to keep it on the outside, be sensible. Every time Chisora takes a step forward, all he has to do is take a step back and throw a jab.
Yeah.
Correct?
Throw a jab and then the right hand.
Yeah, jab and the right hand.
We know Chisora is going to swarm him early, so we'll see what happens. Because that's what Chisora does.
If Pulev gets hit, he will go down because his chin is good, but it's not super good. You know, we saw him get knocked down against Joshua. Saw him get next down against Klitschko. If you hit him good, he will go.
And Klitschko too. He went down with Klitschko. But don't forget, they know each other. These guys know each other. So we'll see, you know, what the story is when they.
And the winner will just get this regional belt and get a world title shot somewhere down the line. You know, I think Pulev would be too dangerous to do bar right now at this current moment.
Well,
man, I don't know.
I don't know about that. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, he'll be his most experienced fighter for sure.
But we also have to remember Pulev's 41 years old, 42 years old now.
Yeah, well,
he'll be almost beating him by like 15, 16 years, right?
That's correct.
Even more than that, maybe.
But that jab hasn't gone away.
No.
Well, you don't.
Well, if Dubois can't get around the damn jab.
No, he never could. Right, let's move on.
Let's move on.
The first article here is
your favorite fighter.
Hearn has made an offer for Joshua Buatsi to fight Dimitri Bivol. He's not ready.
No,
he's not ready.
No way. No way. That would not be a good idea.
Be dead.
I think he's throwing him to the wolves, to be honest with you. I wouldn't. It's too soon.
I think Zerto should fight what's it called first. But Bivol first.
That would be nice. I mean, I'd like to see Zerto win with somebody really good, you know. I mean, I think his record is good, but he hasn't fought, you know, some top
Buatsi
contenders.
should wait another year and a half, because in the next year and a half to 2 years, the landscape will change. Buatsi will get better, and the other guys will get older, and they'll give it their chance.
I think it's too soon. It's too soon.
He could fight what's it called?
27.
What about a Buatsi versus Callum Smith fight?
That would work.
That would be a good fight. But again, I don't think they'll steer him in that direction. I think it'll be more the Anthony Yard fight. I think Anthony Yard would be his best opponent at this right now.
But Buatsi's with Eddie Hearn, and so is Callum Smith. That's like an easier fight to make. Anthony Yard is with Frank Warren in them.
He's not going to throw him in there.
No.
Maybe Callum Johnson. But Callum Johnson's gone to Frank Warren.
Maybe. I think it's just too soon for Buatsi. You know, he had a tough last fight.
He needs to fight.
Yeah, based off that last fight, Bivol will destroy him.
Yeah, Bivol will outbox him.
He needs to fight for the for the European belt or the IBO light heavyweight belt, whoever the light IBO champion is.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he could fight the UK guys. He could. I mean, if Yard wasn't with Warren, I would say Yard, but Yard is trying to get murdered by Kirby. So,
Anthony Yard is not.
They might have a double funeral.
Should we be honest? Anthony Yard is the luckiest boxer around. He gets so many opportunities.
Well,
and he's already been exposed. He's not that good.
He
got
exciting.
the two.
He got two. I mean, he's there to be fought and beaten, you know, by any of these guys. But it would be interesting because he fights hard and he punches hard. So he's going to try as much as he can. I mean, he beat Lyndon Arthur, you know, because of his determination.
I mean, at the minute, as Eddie Hearn likes these illustrious IBO titles, because 3 of his fighters have them, the IBO cruiserweight light heavyweight belt is now vacant, so he should probably fight for that.
Well, that's a possibility, but the fact of the matter is that Yard will be a good fight for any of these guys, and he'll make it exciting. Why not get the payday? Look, he's not going to get that much better.
Yeah.
So why not cash in now? I mean, how old is Yard anyway?
Oh, without question, go for it.
How old is he?
30.
Yeah. Well, now's a good time to fight for a title.
Yeah, go for it. You're gonna fight in the UK. You're gonna fight at home. Your last title shot, you had to fight in Russia.
Sense, you know.
Hopefully, Eddie Hearn will have the funeral arrangements all done up, you know.
Yeah, we'll send flowers.
Anthony, the man who has no skill but punches like a train, but still doesn't know how to box.
I mean, and even if he loses to Arthur, he could probably still get some domestic level fights. It depends on how he loses. Because if he loses like Joe Smith loses, then maybe not. But if he gives a good account of himself for a few rounds, he could maybe come out of there still getting like a column. I mean, the
problem with Yao,
Column Johnson, Column Smith.
His whole career was managed wrongly. They kept feeding in these super middleweights in their late 30s, early 40s, and not like heavyweights. He was fighting middleweights and super middleweights and middleweights. You know, you can't have a career, and then he got a title shot. That's the most carefully constructed title way to a title I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did give what's his name?
Kovalev.
Crusher Kovalev a competitive fight.
Yeah, but a washed Kovalev.
Well, I think we saw something totally different. I seen Kovalev easily handling him until that like one round that Anthony Yard
in the 7th round,
came on. Yeah, 7th round, and then Kovalev came out and knocked him out and stopped the next round.
But Kovalev is a boxer now. He doesn't brawl anymore. He just boxes now.
Yeah, he's at cruiserweight. He's at cruiserweight now.
I know. Yeah, I saw his fight against Pulev's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was.
That was the card that Pulev fought Jerry Forrest. I couldn't even really remember that.
I watched the whole fight. I was impressed that Buddy McGirt has taught him just to box now because he knows he can't get into towards him.
He always could box, but he relied on the power, you know.
But now his punch resistance is gone. He has to fight.
No, his punch resistance is better because he doesn't have to shed the weight he was shedding before.
Right.
He's better at cruiserweight, which he should have left light heavyweight a long time ago. I'm talking 5 years ago.
Well, he hung on too long, that's all.
Right.
Like some fighters do, like Josh Taylor's doing. He's holding on to one.
Right. Well, anyway, you got to think at that time he wasn't beating Uysk and those guys that was at cruiserweight.
No way.
Anyway,
so he moved up to cruiserweight at kind of the right time.
Because there's no real tough people, you know.
Right.
As we've seen. But anyway, as we've seen with British losing to that Australian guy, and Lawrence Coe. Anyway, we'll move on. Sky Sports wins the UK broadcast rights to the Usyk rematch. To me, this don't make any sense. How can you have two fighters signed with Matchroom, right, and their platform is DAZN, but then Sky, this doesn't make any sense.
Well, you said two fighters, meaning who's the other fighter? Okoli?
AJ.
Usyk and AJ.
No, Usyk is signed with Eddie?
Yeah, at the minute, He's got
okay. I didn't realize that. Because Okoli's going through certain similar thing. He got an argument with Eddie, too, about Sky wanting to sign him. Well, that's not the same argument because this is just for one fight. But, yeah. Sky's putting bids in. They like, hey, we built AJ up all these years.
Uh-huh.
But it kind of undermines that big contract that he signed his own. It really undermines it. I know it's only one fight.
Well, didn't he jump ship recently, AJ?
Yeah, he just signed that deal.
Well. Yeah, he signed.
I mean, listen, in the fine print, Sky Sports might have a thing where they could get a bid in whatever the offer is for their fight. They have the option of matching the bid. That could have been part of their contract.
Could this happen in future AJ fights or not?
I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know what's in his contract.
That's right. You have to read the contract.
Because I think AJ's thing here with when he was here in the States with Showtime, I think Showtime had a thing where they got first dibs on the fight, or they got the chance to bid on whatever the bid is to match the bid. So something like that, because they had a contract with AJ here, but Showtime was trying to set up AJ versus Wilder.
Yeah, that's right. Network. That's right. But yeah, who knows what the landscape is going to produce? You know, a lot of fighters are moving around right now, so we'll see what happens with this. But it should be a good match either way. How do you guys see it? I see it as Usyk winning again. What about you?
Yeah, I see it too.
Yeah, because it doesn't. I don't think being with Robert Garcia is going to be able to change him enough to be in the right mindset, and you know, it's just I don't see it happening.
Yeah, Robert Garcia is a good trainer, but I'm not sure if this is a theory on AJ. AJ is content with. It's like he doesn't have the dog once he's losing.
Yeah. He's got to be out in front and confident that he's connecting and hurting somebody.
Right. Now the Vladimir Klitschko fight was an anomaly or whatever, because he actually was losing that fight, and if Vladimir was 2 years younger, he wouldn't have gave up that at the end right there.
They stopped it. He didn't give up. They stopped it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, the way they stopped it, he was content with. He was like, all right. Like, he would have been fighting back, trying to fight back to make sure they don't stop it at that point. Is all I was saying. Anyway, AJ, I think, like I said, there's this theory that he's a little content with. He doesn't have that beast in him, you know. Yeah. Where his nice guy image is really him being a nice guy. Where other people's nice guy image, they're nice guys, but you see how devastating they are in the ring, that they're not playing around.
Like Mike Tyson, yeah.
Or Triple G.
Yeah, which is going to be an interesting one, but we got time to talk about that another time.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on to the next thing. Bobby, Adrian Broner is coming back.
Oh, my favorite fighter, and I don't mean that sarcastically. I think he's great.
Yeah.
Did Floyd help him get this shot? Is he working with Floyd?
No, I don't think so.
He's not working with Ellerby? I saw Ellerby in one of
Might be Ellerby, yeah.
I think it's a PBC show.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
It is, yeah.
He needs money.
What I can't work out is what has this guy been doing for the last 3 years, apart from getting in legal trouble? I know he fought Santiago last year.
He said that last year when he fought Homeboy. I think it was after the fight or whatever. He was like, as long as I'm boxing, I don't get in trouble. But if y'all sit me up on the shelf, that's when I get in trouble. Like, if I'm boxing, then I'm training and I'm in the gym and I'm not thinking about anything else but boxing. If you give me all of this time off. So Broner wants to fight more often than he is fighting.
But he retired, remember?
Yeah, but he's
unstable, is what you want to say.
I was about to say he got some mental issues, but boxing, he needs probably to be in the gym.
The discipline
that keeps his mental illness, I guess, at the
under control,
manageable level.
Yeah, under control. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
like, but it's the money too.
Box because as we see, when he's not, he could get in trouble, and this is sad case.
But it's when he has money too, he gets in trouble. When he starts going out and partying and throwing money at strippers and drinking. It's when he drinks is when he gets in trouble, the poor guy. But like I've said before, he never has really gotten beaten up, not since what's his name went after him.
Madonna?
Since then, like, he's been a very excellent defensive fighter against these top guys. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, you can't really
get through a fight.
You can't really get to him.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's amazing to me. That he could pull that off.
If he threw more punches, he would win he would win majority of those fights that he had lost. All he had to do is throw throw some punches. He just doesn't throw punches.
I know, and look what he did to Porter. He put him down. I thought Porter wasn't going to get up from that hook. That was a brilliant hook.
Yeah, like at the end of the fight too.
Yeah, and so he was able to do that, and he walked off so nonchalant about it, like, yeah, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he
like
has all that
like
ability.
he was setting it up all fight. Like, I'm gonna catch him. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. He's open for this, and he caught him. And yeah, Broner's. I'm not gonna say favorite, but he's definitely a guy that I wish better for him, because I see his talent level.
Oh yeah, you know, and at least he's on enough to admit that he has an issue.
We saw his talent level. We did, but it's been and gone.
Well, he's a 3-division champion, isn't he?
No, 4.
4. I mean, you don't. That's unusual. So, you know, he should have never went up to 147. He was hoping to fight Floyd.
That Maidan fight ruined his career.
Yeah, mentally it ruined him too. So.
Yeah, I mean, he got paid a lot of money since the Madonna fight.
Well, look who he fought. Didn't he fight Pacquiao?
Santiago, come on, that was closer than what it needed to be.
Well, he's coming back, and I'm happy to see him back. I just hope he can keep it together. And make
this would have been a good fight like 3-4 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, like I said, I'll be happy to see him.
And they both kind of at the same stage of their career, needing this win. Mm-hmm. Both him and Omar.
Yep. Omar's very tough though. It's, you know, he's going to be coming for him. He's not boxing him.
Yeah.
You know, he only fights one way. He gets on you and he just keeps throwing. So
yeah, but Omar also, hasn't he had a little time out too?
Yeah, I think he lost 1 or 2 fights and took a couple of beatings, but it's the styles. I mean, if Omar could keep up that offense, and if Adrian goes into his shell, then he's going to lose.
Yeah, he's going to lose just on because the effective aggression is.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what? Give Conor Ben a call. That's one fighter he'll beat, and it will make him a hell of a lot.
AB?
Yeah.
Connor's very
aggressive. He's fighting Conor Ben. Why Conor Ben's still there? Because we know that Brayner's a better fighter than would beat Conor Ben right now.
I wouldn't mind seeing AB versus Regis.
Oh yeah, that would be good too. He hasn't been doing much progress. Rogaru.
No, he hasn't. He need to fight.
Well, he's a guy that people don't want to fight, you know.
Yeah.
But he's probably holding out for money. When he lost to Taylor, you know, his momentum slowed.
And I'm shocked. Like, why all these belts dropping? He can't fight for none of the vacant belts that's about to fall.
I don't know. I mean, he's ranked high.
But he's not in line to fight for the WBA. Didn't they already set the 2 guys for that fight?
I think they did. Yeah.
Are we talking about Josh Taylor?
Yeah,
well, we're not talking about
Taylor. We're talking about Rogaru.
Okay, next. But Manny Pacquiao is fighting a YouTuber. Oh.
He needs the money.
And the guy he's fighting is called DKU. And you know what? I don't care about this fight. This nonsense YouTube stuff.
You know, when this was announced, you know, people went ballistic on social media talking about, is Floyd and Pacquiao going to do an exhibition?
No, Floyd already said he'd never do it. Floyd said he'd never do it because you know what? If they made it a real fight, he'd make a lot of money. You know,
they could make it an exhibition and he'd still make a lot of money. But yeah,
he's not going to fight another boxer. He's going to fight.
Apparently, Manny Pacquiao's broke. They're saying they're also saying Floyd's broke as well.
Nah, Floyd's not broke. Floyd knows what he's doing.
Pacquiao's broke, I believe.
Every time Floyd needs to pay his taxes, he goes and does one of these pay-per-view YouTube fights. That's what he does. Yeah. He's always acted this way.
Yeah, he does this, like he's with those guys that be finagling the tax code. So
yep, yeah, he does. He owes $2-3 million, and he says, "I'll pay you next year." And he goes, and then he pays them, and then he owes them the next year. He's always a year behind.
Yeah,
he's not stupid. Floyd knows what he's doing. Plus, he's got investments.
I just don't want to see him ever come back full time. The exhibition stuff for him, I don't mind. But I don't ever want to see him back in the proper professional ring.
Well, he embarrassed Jake Paul, didn't
he? Yeah, and the guy was like 60 pounds more than him. That was embarrassing.
He about to fight Hasim Rahman Jr.
Didn't he get knocked out in his last fight, Junior?
Yeah,
he got knocked cold.
Tommy Gunn by Tommy Morrison's son.
Yeah, he got knocked cold, so that's why Jake is probably.
I believe Jake Paul won't win this fight.
Nah, I think he will. He's got a lot of power.
Should do. But
he's got a lot.
Hasim Rahman Jr. guy's not up to much. He's a heavyweight. He's had like 10 wins, and he's not very impressive.
Well, anything could happen, but I think Jake Paul is taking this guy. Jake Paul is going to outweigh him too.
Rahman's 30, Hasim Rahman Jr. is 30 years old. Yeah, he's not.
Yeah, he's 12-1, isn't he?
Yeah.
And
those guys are in terrible fun.
Bad knockout. So that's why he's fit for the belt. But too bad that Fury couldn't fight him. This whole thing with Kinahan, it's affecting all of them.
Yep.
Hasim Rahman Jr., that's a name that nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Well, they know his father.
Oh, definitely we know.
That's the selling point of the fight. That's the selling point for him.
Yep.
Do you remember you guys when Hasim Rahman, he fought the Russian guy who and the Russian guy was winning, and Maskaev, he knocked him right out of the ring cold.
Yeah. Did it too?
I bumped into Hasim Rahman when I think he was what's it called trainer for a minute. Michael Hunter.
Yeah.
When Michael Hunter was fighting Sergey Kuzmin.
Yeah.
Ah, that sounds good. Sergey Kuzmin, huh?
Hasim was one of those fighters who, he had a lot of luck, but he also had a good punch as well.
Who had a lot of luck?
Hasim
Rahman? Oh no, he was competitive. He KO'd your man.
Yeah, after he beat Lennox Lewis, his career kind of went a little bit weird. He, kind of lost to Vander Holyfield. Then he won the belt again, the WBC belt again against James Toney. So he got the interim belt and won the world title again.
He was not a big heavyweight. That was part of the problem.
No.
Yeah.
He came up in an era when big heavyweights were coming back in.
Yeah. Lennox Lewis, the Klitschko's.
Riddick Bowe.
Yeah, those guys.
He was lucky to win the titles when he did. He was in the right place at the right time. And they were good wins as well.
Even entertaining Andrew Galata was a big guy.
Yeah.
But Oleg Maskaev knocked him out the ring twice, to win the world title against him.
Yeah. That was something. But didn't he knock Maskaev out of the ring? Or was it the other way around?
I thought it was the other way around.
Oh,
Maskaev beat him twice.
Oh, well, Maskaev, was a tough customer. I forgot who he lost to, but he got taken out pretty badly a couple of times.
Yeah. He was a world champion, so I'm not going to knock him.
Right.
Can't knock him too much.
No, you got to respect fighters, man. It takes a lot of balls to get in the ring.
You lost to Samuel Peter. That's got to be two of the worst world champions I've seen in the WBC history. To be honest.
Samuel Peters wasn't a great boxer, but he was a sure hell of a puncher.
Oh, yeah. And then after that, he just became like, what? Career just flopped.
Samuel Peter.
That's right. Yeah, right. Samuel Peter.
When I look back, I find it hard to believe he ever was world champion, to be honest.
That's who was fighting at the time. It's
that wasn't the greatest time.
No, it was very weak. And you had David Haye beating the 7-foot Yeti,
The Russian guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was something. He was big. Even Holyfield
Roy Jones beating Ruiz.
Yeah, that was something. But he paid for that fight. He was never the same after that. He was getting hit head. I remember his eyes rolling up in his head a couple of times. He got hit in that fight. That was a big mistake for Roy. Because after that, his punch resistance was shot.
Yeah, whatever shell he had, it was slowly taken away.
Well, he slowed down.
The same way Dillian White is the same things happen to Dillian White.
Well, the thing there is that you slow down when you're a guy like Roy Jones or Muhammad Ali. You slow down half a second, you're going to get hit.
In their best days, there's no way in the world that Glenn Johnson and Roy Jones is on the same planet.
That's right. That's right.
I remember watching that fight, and when I went to get a cup of tea and smoke my cigarette, spark my cigarette, and next minute I see Roy Jones on the floor. What the hell happened here? Because it was such a good knockout, wasn't it? That Glenn Johnson hit him.
Yeah, that was
That was 2000.
The Tarver fight shocked me a bit. It was like, oh my god! But the Johnson fight, I was like, he's done.
That was 2000. Right the Roy Jones fight. Glenn Johnson fight was 2003.
Yeah, I know. Well, that happens to all those fighters that rely on their reflexes. You know, if they don't have sound boxing fundamentals, then they start getting hit. Now, Jones was great and awkward, but everything depended on his speed.
Yeah, Jones fought. You could see that Jones, if he doesn't have the speed or if his speed isn't there, he's going to get caught because he does everything you're not supposed to do as a boxer.
Same thing Ali did.
Keeps his hands down.
Yep.
Puts his head out. Like so.
I remember watching Roy Jones fight. What's his name? Fight Dennis Ledebev in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he had a battle. Then he lost to the Australian Danny something. I can't remember his name, but he got knocked out one round by the Australian champ.
And you know what we're forgetting to mention here is that Bernard Hopkins, B-Hop, in the rematch showed boxing versus speed and beat him later on because in their first match he couldn't catch him. And I think Hopkins was 19-1 when he fought him, and then he lost again. But Hopkins, that's an example of like sound boxing fundamentals because Hopkins was a great boxer as well as a puncher.
I saw that fight in the movie theater, the rematch. Right. B-Hop versus Roy Jones.
So you agree or disagree?
No. He was. I mean, B-Hop did a lot of that veteran stuff, but he was a good boxer.
He was a one-off. The guy was a one-off. You can't put it any other way.
Well,
and it's so crazy because that Joe Smith fight, I just knew that. I didn't see Joe Smith, but before that fanfare, but I was like, B-Hop is going to lose because going into that training camp, the way his legs started to look when he was training, I'm like, he's starting to really look old. Like, I don't know whatever fight he had just before that one. That one might have took the last of his energy out, but he wanted a swan song. He wanted a good fight. And since Joe Smith had just beat Fanfara, I think somebody had talked him into fighting him, and then he wound up getting knocked out the ring.
At that age, it could go.
Teddy Atlas wound up telling him, suggested Joe Smith to him.
Well, that was a bad suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember in the press conferences, he would say, average man, exceptional man. Average man,
let's
exceptional
move
man.
on.
Yeah, go
to Jeremiah Ponce wants an IBS shot against Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor's just given away all these belts, doesn't he? He should move up now. He doesn't need to give Jack Catterall.
Yeah, but who's he going to fight at 147 and win? That's the question. Is he going to fight Bud? Is he going to fight Spence? Is he going to fight any of those guys and win? He's not.
Why should he? He won all the 4 belts. He looked bad in his fight against Catterall. He's weight drained. He doesn't look good at the weight. He needs to go up to welterweight. Have a few warm-up fights and then wait for some of the belts to be freed up. There's nothing for him to prove that.
I'm not sure he beats Ennis.
No, he doesn't.
No,
he doesn't.
No, Ennis will take him out. Ennis will knock him out.
He might be able to give a good scrap against Conor.
But he's only the second man to win all 4 belts at that weight. Terence Crawford is the only person to have done it apart from him.
Yeah.
Where's he going? That's the big deal. Where's he going to go? Same thing about what's his name? Not Conor Ben, Eubank. Where's Eubank going to go? You know, the choices
got
are
a little bit more options though than the old.
But not to win.
No.
Oh no, not to
Eubank
win.
could go up to super middleweight and wait for a vacant belt, or he can fight.
I mean, wait. Can't he fight the Liams? Isn't he about to fight a Liam?
I don't think so. No.
Eubank.
Well, they're talking about that. They're talking, but that's at 154. He's got to come down to 154. Liam Smith is not at 160 right now, is he? He's
no, Liam Williams is at 160.
Oh, Liam Williams. Okay. Well,
he's at 160.
It's a good question. I don't know what to say about that, except
he probably. I mean, he could fight at 168 too, and fight the Rockies and the Riders.
Right, he could do that, but you can't protect him anymore. He's in that position where he's got to fight somebody.
Yeah, he got to fight somebody.
That's dangerous. Somebody
especially with the mouthpiece. If you're talking a lot of crap, or like if you're speaking out like you want to do all of these great things, then your actions got to at least halfway show it. Well, you might want to fight Canelo, but then you okay, I'm not going to fight Canelo, and let me at least fight Laura or somebody.
Well, they're talking about a rematch with Billy
Murata
Joe.
or somebody.
Yeah, but they're talking about Billy Joe. Rematch with Billy Joe. Billy Joe's supposedly coming back. They may do a rematch with him. Maybe they think he's softened up or whatever. I don't know. I just don't see him winning a world title. Is my point.
Yeah, Billy.
Who are you talking about?
Billy Joe rematch is that right there seems like a desperation.
I can't see Lara keeping that belt much longer. I think Lara will move up
to 160.
We'll move back down.
Wait a minute. Laura's at 154, right?
Nah, Laura's at 160. He's the WBA world title.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
But Laura's not going up to 168.
He vacated
too big for him.
Yeah, 168 is too big for him.
I think.
No, that's not
think he will get a shot at the super champion. But are they dissolving all the belts now into one, or are they going to bring?
They're supposed to. I mean, but GGG is fighting Canelo, so they're going to hold off for that fight.
At super middleweight, though, isn't he? At super middleweight, yeah.
Yeah, but he's still a middleweight title holder, so
even if he loses, he'll keep all his belts, won't he? Supposedly.
He might be able to. And then maybe I don't see him giving Laura a fight, but
do we really
maybe
need
he'll
to
give
see
Laura
a
a fight.
G rematch? I don't think we need to see it. A third match.
I think it's going to be a great fight.
We know who the better fighter is.
I don't know. We'll see. It depends on Canelo's headspace.
What's he going to be like after that loss? We just don't know.
I don't like Canelo's headspace right now, but we could save that. We could do a whole show on that. But I would go back and watch their two fights very closely if I were you, Nathan. Very closely, and see what GGG was doing to him, because he did catch.
But GGG is old. But this is 3 years. This is 2.5 years later. Triple G's 40.
Canelo is slower now at 168.
Yeah, he's
slower,
but
he's still be a different foot.
But he's got a good power at 168, and we've never seen Triple G fight at 168 before.
Since the last time they fought, Triple G has not taken really any punishment outside of the Devonchenko fight. He hasn't really been in any grueling fights.
And plus, he's going to be the bigger man here too. It's not like you see how much bigger in the press conferences GGG looks compared to Canelo.
Yeah,
he's taller. He looks thicker. Yeah. He's not going to be a pushover.
But Canelo's a better fighter
ever knocked him off.
But people forget that Canelo's a better fighter. Even if you have one loss, doesn't matter. He still holds all 4 belts, and for me, he's still a better fighter than Triple G.
But Canelo's been fighting the same style now for about 8 fights in a row. He was very predictable.
There's nothing Triple G can do that to win this fight. He's going to get knocked out this time. I firmly believe that.
I don't see him getting knocked out by him. I don't see that at all. I don't see GG maybe even getting knocked off his feet.
It would be a great fight.
But he's older. He's older. That is the only thing that could slow him down is his age.
Yeah.
His reflexes. But you know, he may be stronger at 168 because he doesn't have to cut that weight. You know, so
yeah, no, without question, he doesn't have to make sure that he's making weight, right? You know, so
he looks like he's around 180 right now, 190.
Yeah, he looks bigger than Canelo at the moment.
A lot bigger. So, and I don't like Canelo's headspace. I don't like where he is mentally with all the shit he's talking, you know. And, you know, you insult me and this and that. Get out of here. He told the truth. You got busted for steroids, dude. You know, it's true. You got busted, you know. Yeah. And he definitely lost that first fight to him. So we'll see what happens.
Right, guys, we've just about finished, I guess. Yeah.
Hey, good show. Good show, guys.
Right. I'm just going to end the broadcast down the line a minute.
All right.
We'll be back next week, viewers.